You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borg. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon, welcome back. Today is Thursday, 30th day of January 2025. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. We do 2 live broadcasts every trading day. The first one is private. It's reserved for members only and those who are taking their 1-week free trial. If you haven't taken your 1-week free trial, when Michael comes on in a bit, he'll walk you through step by step how to do it. And I know the weekend's coming up, but don't worry, you'll still get 5 consecutive trading days where you have access not only to the live training room, but everything else. We treat you just like a member, just like a passport holder, for 5 consecutive trading days. No credit card required. This way you have a clear head, you can focus, and at the end of your 5-day trial, you can make a well-informed and intelligent decision whether or not what we do is right for you. Now, when the live training room ends each day, we take a 30-minute break, and we come back for this broadcast, the afternoon broadcast. This broadcast, unlike the morning broadcast, is open to the public. Everybody, everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. There's 2 different ways you can join this afternoon broadcast live. The best way, you only have to do it once. Go to mytradingiq.com. Scroll down the page to where it says Noon Broadcast. Click the link, fill out the 30-second registration form, and you're done. Going forward, what will happen, every trading day, you'll get an email about an hour before this broadcast starts. In the email, there's a link. So at 12 noon Eastern, all you have to do is click the link in the email, and it'll automatically log you into our platform. The benefit there is you'll have access to the question box so that you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. Of course, there'll be days you're out of the office, away from the desktop, but you still want to join live. And there'll be days when you're busy, can't join live, but want to get caught up later. You can do both of those via our YouTube channel. And it's easy to remember. youtube.com/CFRN. Not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, as we're doing right now, simulcasting, but we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there's over 2,700 daily episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. And if you're new to the world of CFRN, it's a great way to get to know who we really are. Not just today, or this week, or this month, but thanks to the power of YouTube, you can see how we've evolved over the years. You can scroll back 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, even more. Obviously, you're not going to watch them all. Just pick some at random. And again, see how we've evolved over the years. How we got to where we are now, from whence we came. youtube.com/CFRN. CFRN. Okay, our daily schedule each afternoon. Start with our devotional, a word of prayer, a little news, recap of the alerts, Logic 247, Concierge. And then Michael joins us for a recap of what happened in the live training room this morning. Then we do some live trading on TradingView, and then wrap things up with our good word for the day. So, let's get after it. We started a new devotional topic yesterday. We're in day 2 of 3. Who controls your thoughts? Our scripture today is John 8, verses 42 through 47. And I'll share with you from the Message translation. If God were your Father, said Jesus, you would love me, for I came from God and arrived here. I didn't come on my own. He sent me. Why can't you understand one word I say? Here's why. You can't handle it. You're from your father, the devil, and all you want to do is please him. He was a killer from the very start. He couldn't stand the truth because there wasn't a shred of truth in him. When the liar speaks, he makes it up out of his lying nature and fills the world with lies. I arrive on the scene, tell you the plain truth, and you refuse to have a thing to do with me. Can any one of you convict me of a single misleading word, a single sinful act? But if I'm telling the truth, why don't you believe me? Anyone on God's side listens to God's words. This is why you're not listening, because you're not on God's side. John 8, verses 45 through 47. So, when you tell yourself, I can't overcome this addiction, whose thought is that? Or when you think, I have to have this drink, whose thought is that? Or when you entertain such thoughts as, I am nothing, I have no value, I don't have power over my emotions of lust or anger, who's doing the talking? We know these thoughts come from Satan because they are all lies, and he is the father of lies. John 8:44. Satan makes quick work of planning thoughts and directing them. But his thoughts do not have to have the last word. You have the power to control your own thoughts. So, how should you respond to Satan's suggestions? The same way Jesus did when Peter tried to keep him from going to the cross. Peter told Jesus, God forbid it, Lord. This shall never happen to you. To which Jesus replied in Matthew 16:22, Get behind me, Satan. Jesus knew that the words came from Peter, but the thought came from Satan. And when Satan gets into your mind, he gets into your actions. The key to overcoming him is to take your thoughts captive. Tomorrow we'll talk about how can a believer discern between thoughts planted by Satan and the believer's own thoughts. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, Thank you for revealing your truth through Jesus Christ. Help us to listen to your word with open hearts and to follow you with obedience and love. Guard us from deception and fill us with wisdom so that we may walk in your light. May our lives reflect your truth, and may we always belong to you. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray, and everybody said, Amen. Amen, and happy Thursday. Hey, how about that Fed yesterday? Oh, me. Let me give you the numbers from around the world. We'll start here in the U.S. with the cash markets, or the indices. Currently, the Dow's up 114 points. The Nasdaq's down 24. S&P 500 up 12. And the Russell 2000 are manning the street, up 29 points, which is just over 1.25%. In the commodity basket, crude oil up 16 cents, trading 72.78 last. Gold up $47, trading 28.40 half last. That's a gain of almost 1.75%. Silver up $1.08, trading 32.47 last. That's a gain of just shy of 3.5%, or over $5,000 per contract traded. In the Asian markets, at the close, the Nikkei added 99 points. The Shanghai dropped 2. The Hang Seng gained 27. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE up 89, just over 1%. The DAX up 89. The CAC up 69. And for the CAC, that's almost 1%. So we had a mixed day in Asia. It was a green day for the UK. But it's a mixed Radio Thursday here in the US of A. Once again, we have the mixed markets. We like to see all 4 of the major indices the same color. They can be all red or all green, because with futures you can trade in either direction. You can be long, short, long again, all in the same hour, if that's what the chart tells you to do. But when there's division like this, when we don't have all red or all green, there's a bit of tug of war going on behind the scenes. But with the Russell being up so substantially, I suspect we might see the NQ find its way into the green. It's only down 30 points, so that's not a lot in the world of the NQ. We'll look at that chart in just a minute. Let's take a look at the news. Last night, a regional American Eagle plane en route from Wichita, Kansas, reportedly collided in midair with a military helicopter as it was landing at Washington, D.C.'s Reagan National Airport. At least 64 people were on board the plane, which crashed into near freezing water in the Potomac River. No survivors have been found from either aircraft as of early this morning. And this continues to be a developing story. How did it happen? My understanding is the helicopter was elevated right up into the underside of the airplane that was attempting to land. So, who important was on the plane? What could the possible motivation be? Was it some kind of malfunction? I guess they don't really know yet. But I do know that our thoughts, our hearts, our prayers are with the families of all those who are on both aircraft, the plane and the helicopter. In other Washington, D.C. news, former New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez, Democrat, was sentenced yesterday afternoon to 11 years in prison on bribery, fraud, and extortion charges in federal court in Manhattan. Menendez was convicted in July when a jury found the 71-year-old guilty on all 16 counts of taking payments in gold bars and cash to influence New Jersey criminal investigations and provide intel to Egyptian officials. The case ended the former head of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee's political career after 3 terms. Menendez, his wife Nadine, and 3 New Jersey businessmen were also indicted in the scheme in 2023. Nadine's trial has been postponed until March as she undergoes treatment for breast cancer. 2 of the co-conspirators, Fred Davies and Wael Hana, were tried alongside Menendez and convicted on all counts as well. They were also sentenced yesterday, each receiving more than $1 million in fines and nearly a decade in prison. The 3rd businessman, Joseph Uribe, is scheduled for sentencing in April. So Bob Menendez headed off to 11 years, and he's 71 right now. This is a federal case. I think on the federal cases you have to serve the whole thing. I don't think they have the good behavior plan. The U.S. government is going to repurpose Guantanamo Bay to hold as many as 30,000 undocumented migrants after President Donald Trump said yesterday the facilities will be used as a holding center for high-priority migrants facing deportation with criminal backgrounds. Known by many as Gitmo, the naval base has operated on a small patch of southeast Cuba under an open-ended lease since 1903. The facilities became infamous during the War on Terror for the indefinite detention of suspected enemy combatants. As of the beginning of the year, 15 people are still being held there. Details of how the base will be used to process migrants or when the effort will begin were not specified. In related news, the Trump administration rescinded a memo issued yesterday ordering a wide-ranging freeze in federal funding. The guidance reportedly created confusion over which of the thousands of programs were affected and raised legal questions regarding the executive branch's ability to intervene in congressionally directed spending. Separately, Health Secretary nominee Robert F. Kennedy Jr. began confirmation hearings yesterday, and I don't know if you saw any of it, but it was just horrible what they put this guy through. He's not doing it for the money. Elizabeth Warren the one who gave him such a verbal thrashing about the fact that he has sued pharmaceutical companies and won large settlements for his clients. He's also an attorney. She didn't talk about how much Big Pharma and Big Food have donated to the Elizabeth Warren Fund. The numbers are really quite staggering. So, throwing rocks in a glass house, never a good idea. Okay, let's talk about the GDP. U.S. economy grew at a slower than expected pace in the fourth quarter. The Bureau of Economic Analysis advance estimate of fourth quarter U.S. gross domestic product showed the economy grew at an annualized pace of 2.3% during the period, below the 2.6% growth expected by economists surveyed by Bloomberg. The reading came in lower than the 3.1% growth seen in the third quarter. Tesla. Remember we talked yesterday about Tesla having their earnings at, it was supposed to be 4:30 yesterday afternoon, half hour before futures close. Tesla has pledged a return to growth in 2025. Yesterday, after fourth quarter results disappointed, capping off a year that saw revenue rise just 1%, while profits fell sharply from a year ago. On the earnings call, Tesla CEO Elon Musk said that paid, unsupervised, full self-driving is coming to Austin, Texas in June. So, interestingly enough, with the disappointing earnings, Tesla's up 2.5% right now. Shares in the electric vehicle maker jumped nearly 4% in early trading today. With unsupervised FSD expected to be available throughout the U.S. by the end of 2025 and the rest of the world by the end of 2026, this will be a focus of the bulls. That comes from a Wedbush analyst. For the fourth quarter, Tesla reported revenue of $25.7 billion, well short of the $27.2 billion expected by analysts and up just 2% from a year ago. For the full year 2024, revenue rose 1% to $97.7 billion. But people still have faith. I think their faith's more in Elon than the whole electric car thing. Because most Americans that I talk to, I'm sure we have members in the audience that have electric cars and love them. The average American that I've talked to just doesn't seem to be quite so infatuated. From Bloomberg, Blackstone Incorporated, the world's largest commercial property owner, said the worst is over for the global office market after a prolonged slump fueled by the pandemic. Yeah, and it's probably got something to do with Trump telling everybody, look, you have to go back to work. You got to show up at the office. You have to do your job. We got people that have been on a 4-year furlough. I mean, anyway. Blackstone's president, John Grace, said in an interview, office has bottomed, particularly in stronger markets and better quality buildings. Valuations for U.S. offices have tumbled 50 to 70% from their peak, he said, and they're poised for a rebound. The declaration marks a shift for Blackstone, which has been touting its retreat from the office market. Traditional U.S. offices account for less than 2% of the firm's real estate holdings. That's down from more than 50% before the 2008 financial crisis. That could soon change, with Gray saying Blackstone is now evaluating fresh office bets. The firm is nearing an agreement to purchase a Midtown Manhattan tower in a return to New York office deal-making for the investor, according to Bloomberg. Gray said, "We will be willing to buy properties out there." Yeah, I'm not too bullish on commercial real estate, but we'll see. Like I said, Trump telling everybody they got to go back to work. That's going to help. But a lot of people have gotten used to working at home. So if they can find other jobs that allow them to work at home, I guess we'll see how it all shakes out eventually. Now, there was a movie a while back called The Big Short. I'm sure some of you market purists have seen it. This is from Bloomberg. It's another sign, if one were needed, of the perilous state of the short-selling industry right now. At an event featuring some of the most famous names in the game, there was hardly a bearish view among them. Peter Collins, Steve Eisman, Vincent Daniel, and Danny Moses shot to fame thanks to The Big Short, the book and movie chronicling successful trades they and others made during the financial crisis. The foursome made a killing at Front Point Partners, bidding against mortgage-backed debt before the crash. This week, reuniting for a panel at an alternative investments conference in Miami, they made it clear they still like to go against consensus. Only these days, that mostly involves being long what other investors in the market avoid. What all of us have done during our career is to try to be contrarians, according to Collins. He's a co-founder of Seawolf Capital, as well as looking at what's priced to perfection and what could go wrong. That also means asking, where are cheap assets, what can go right, and how do we make money off of that? A strong Pacific storm will begin to uncoil across Oregon, Washington, and Northern California through the weekend, promising heavy rain and snow that will replenish water supplies, but could also unleash destruction. After all these fires, I mean, this is almost like something out of the Old Testament. First the fires, and now water. Known as an atmospheric river, the storm will begin dropping rain across the Pacific Northwest today and then head south into Northern California, where it will remain anchored through the weekend into next week, according to the U.S. Weather Prediction Center. As much as 7 inches of rain will fall, with up to 12 inches of snow or more across the Cascade and Sierra Nevada ranges. For the next 4 to 5 days, it will be a pretty significant rainfall event. The flooding rains arrive after weeks of bone-dry winds fanned wildfires that killed at least 29 people and burned more than 16,000 structures around Los Angeles. Atmospheric rivers are long, narrow streams of moisture that can carry enough water vapor to match the average flow from the mouth of the Mississippi River. Wow, that's big. The system, set to hit the U.S. West, will be beneficial in some areas and harmful in others. In Oregon, Washington, and parts of California, the storm is expected to reach only Category 1 and 2 levels, usually considered a benefit on a scale devised by the Scripps Institution of Oceanography. However, around San Francisco Bay, it may hit Category 3 and 4 levels, which are considered destructive, and that's when you get those mudslides. And those are not good. Okay, on the home front. Logic 247, our 24/7 around-the-clock E-mini alert service. We're currently in week 339, and over the last 339 weeks, we have issued over 18,900 individual handcrafted alerts. And what we've averaged on a weekly basis is 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out based on market structure, and a simple process that we teach all of our passport holders in their one-on-one mentoring sessions. This week so far, we had that huge gap open Sunday night, so we didn't put anything out Sunday night. I don't think I put anything out Monday night either. But anyway, through this morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern, when Valerie did the recap, we issued a total of 26 alerts so far this week. Still waiting on the outcome of 7. That gave us 19 actionable alerts, of which 4, or 21%, would have been stopped out. Again, based on market structure and a very simple process that we teach all of our passport holders in their one-on-one mentoring sessions. Each logic alert has an entry price, an initial target designed to help you get your goal for the day, and then additional targets, and then a final trade to target. Now, the real purpose of the logic alerts is to help you learn how to read a chart. If you take a 30-minute chart and any logic alert and start drawing horizontal lines at the entry price, at the initial target, the additional targets, you'll start to understand how price flows. And it flows the same across all markets and all time frames, from support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over again and again. It's a never-ending cycle. If you use the logic alerts, yeah, you can trade them. That's fine. Okay, can't prevent you from doing that. Don't want to prevent you. Just want to caution you to make sure that you use the information to learn. Okay, not to just take a, oh, here's a hot tip, let me go trade it. No. Here's an alert. Here's a 30-minute chart. Draw horizontal lines, and pretty soon you'll be able to spot potential resistance, potential support, and you'll be able to find the windows of opportunity in between. Once you do that, once you learn that, nobody can ever take that away from you. And then you won't need the alerts. Okay? Now, 339 weeks, that's a long time. But way before we rolled out Logic 247, we had our concierge trade alerts. They're different. They don't come out around the clock like the logic alerts. The logic alerts can come out 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. because futures trade around the clock and we have traders around the globe. So our day session is their night session and vice versa. So a logic alert can come out anytime opportunity presents. The concierge trade alerts are published either 5 minutes before the Globex open or shortly after the Globex open. So over the last month, I've had a pretty good string of days of getting them out 5 minutes ahead of the open. Last night was not one of those nights, so I posted in the discussion group, CTAs will not come out ahead of the open tonight. I do that so you don't sit there waiting for something that's not going to come out. Just know that I'll always try to get them out 5 minutes before the market opens, but sometimes life gets in the way, and well, got them out 15 minutes. 15 minutes into the first 30-minute candle after the open last night. Now, if you're a member or trial member, be sure to read this information. Make sure you understand it. If you have questions, ask so we can get you an answer. But last night, 15 minutes after the open, every member, every trial member had all of these targets. The S&P Emini, the Dow, the Russell, crude oil, the NQ, gold, silver, and bonds. Okay? 15 minutes after the open. So let's go see what our daily chart looks like on the S&P. Yesterday, we straddled that 50% fib extension, and we closed pretty much right at it, right below it. See this wick here and this wick here? That's a sign of indecision. Okay. Now, today, since the market opened last night at 6 p.m. Eastern, we made a big run up, but we didn't quite make it at yesterday's high. Yesterday's high was 61.11 half. Is that right? 61.11 half. And now today's high, come on, 61.0975. So not a huge difference, but a significant difference. The fact that price was unable to take out yesterday's high, and the fact that we have blue and climbing overhead directly above price. If we just go sideways today and tomorrow, what's going to happen is blue and climbing is going to turn to red and falling. And when that happens, we anticipate lower prices. Okay. Now when price pulls back to the BBC, the green line, we expect it to hold until proven otherwise. This was the gap open Sunday night, and so price raced all the way down to the top of this trend line, but then bounced to close the session Monday above the BBC. It's called the BBC because it stands for Bull Bear Cross. When price crosses below the green line, we're bearish and expect lower prices. When it crosses above the green line, we're bullish and expect higher prices. As you can see, the pullback holds more often than not, but eventually it will trade through, especially when it has a lot of red and falling, bringing it down. So we're starting to see how it makes that turn, and once we got red and falling, we're going to move all the way down to here. Okay, so we found support yesterday, not only at the daily BBC, but the 38% fib extension. We're slightly off the low of the day. We're printing a green candle, but we got two obstacles directly overhead: the 50% fib extension and the black step line. Those are both potential resistance. We're not that far off the low of the day. We're a lot further off the high of the day than the low of the day. So I could see some sideways consolidation here for a few days right in this area. Or this could be the time, okay, as we consolidate and this turns red. The more days it has of being red, the greater the probability that we'll break through the BBC. Okay, see how we traded through here? That could happen here. You have to embrace all possibilities. Now, when price spiked down on Monday, or the Sunday night open, we not only hit the top of that trend line, but we also hit the 24% fib retracement. Right there. Hit it pretty close to the tick. And we bounced. Whenever we hit a fib retracement on a daily chart, we expect a bounce. Why? Institutional traders look at daily, weekly, and monthly charts the way you and I look at 30-minute charts, 5-minute charts, tick charts, and range charts. Has everything to do with account size. Because of their massive account size and the size they trade in, they're the ones who actually move price. So what I encourage is whether you trade futures, stocks, crypto, Forex, ETFs, whatever, spend 2 minutes with the daily chart before you drop to your smaller time frames to trade whatever it is you're going to trade. Number one, it gives you a free look over the shoulder of the deep pockets that move price. Again, they're looking at daily, weekly, and monthly charts. Okay? So you get a free look at what they're doing, and you're also able to identify major areas of support and resistance that you may not be able to see on your smaller time frame. Like right here where blue and climbing appears to be curling over, right? Which means it'll become red and falling. It's right at the 62% fib extension. Now we had a huge rally here. It looked like we were going to take out the all-time historic high from December 6th, but we didn't. That was a huge drop. But we recovered pretty nicely. And yesterday being Fed Day, that's not an overly impressive size candle. Sometimes Fed Day you'll see a huge candle. I think this was maybe one back here. Stuff like that. So yesterday, by most standards, Fed Day was a pretty quiet day. All right. All of the alerts, both the logic alerts and the concierge trade alerts, are created on the 30-minute chart. Nothing magic about 30 minutes. It's just a time frame I chose to use years ago, and they say if it's not broke, leave it alone. The vertical lines separate today, Thursday, here's Wednesday, here's Tuesday. These are the weekly trading zones, which are published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern since December 14th of 2009. So over 15 years now. Once the zones are published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, they are carved in stone for the entire week. They do not change in any way whatsoever. When price drops to a weekly zone, we expect support. When it rallies up to a zone, we expect resistance until proven otherwise. Okay? So, we had a gap lower open last night, dropped right into blue and climbing, and that walked us right up to the BBC. get above the BBC. And this candle right here opened at 60.78 and ran up to 60.93. You only need from 60.78 open 60.78 to 60.92 half. It actually went up to 60.93. You only need 2 points to get your goal for the day. Now, this resistance right here sent price back to the BBC. Remember, the pullback holds more often than not. So when the market finds support, it will go look for resistance, which it found at the weekly trading zone. Resistance will then send the market looking for support. It's a never-ending cycle, over and over again and again, from support to resistance at red and falling. Now we spike the BBC, then we printed a green candle. Okay, now we had a bullish cross here, so we spiked that area where we would expect support, but in fact it did turn into support, and it sent us back up to the target and the zone. This time, this was the 9:30 opening candle on Wall Street. We spiked, but we didn't take out yesterday's high. Okay, yesterday's high was 61.11 and a half. And today we're at 61.0975. So failure to take out that high shows weakness in the market. So down we come, and we hit the short target pretty much to the tick. Support sends us looking for resistance, BBC. Now even though we spiked the BBC, almost making it back up to the long target, now we made it, well, we were 3 points off. The next candle took us back below the BBC, so that pullback held. Now we're kind of going sideways. The market's getting a little quiet here. A window of opportunity would be 60.68 down to 60.66. From 68 to 66. That's a 2-point window of opportunity. And that's all you need to get your goal for the day. 60.68 to 66. Yeah, those aren't perfect, but you get the idea. 68 to 66. And, price could very well keep traveling right on down. That's just being conservative. Price could keep traveling right on down. And you could even from 60.62 down to 60.59. That's 3 points. 2 more points, you're at the zone, or at the target. If we were to trade through the target, then you look left for potential support at these lows right here. Then you're at a zone. Remember, when we drop to a zone, we expect support. When we rally up to a zone, we expect resistance until proven otherwise. On the Dow, here's the open. We had a leg, a retracement, pullback held, and we hit the long target. Resistance, see this high right here from yesterday, sent us all the way down to the zone. We spiked the zone, almost touched the short target, not quite. Buyers came in ahead of this low from yesterday, and this candle right here. That's the 9:30 Wall Street candle. Typically the biggest candle of the day, not always. And we've just kind of been doing some wide-ranging consolidation between the BBC and the long target. Now you've got blue and climbing coming up here. Red and falling has turned to blue and climbing. That should send us at least back to the target. Possibly these highs, yesterday's high, Tuesday's high. Okay. Now you can look at those as targets, you can look at those as potential resistance. It all equates to the same thing. But with blue and climbing chasing price, pretty sure we'll make it at least back to the long target. On the Russell, here's where we opened last night above the BBC with blue and climbing, and it just took us straight up to long target. We then consolidated sideways just below the zone, came back and touched down on the top of that long target. When we trade through a long target and price pulls back, that target will often become support. It did give us a leg, ultimately took us up to the zone at 2318/19. Resistance sent us looking for support. We hit the BBC, we spiked all the way to the zone, or the target, to the pretty much to the tick. Okay, it became, remember, target on the way up. On the retracement here and here became support, which gave us a leg, a retracement, a leg, and a retracement. And now we're attempting to build another leg. But keep in mind, we've got a series of lower highs here, 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 here. Okay. If we take out this high, then there's potential resistance, there's potential resistance. And then you've got a window of opportunity up to the weekly zone at 2329/2330. On the NQ. Is that you, Michael?
That is me. That is me. I am one step closer to getting this era stuff looking kind of normal.
Okay. All right, guys. We'll pick up with these last couple markets after Michael gives us a recap of what happened in the live training room. And then we'll do some live trading on TradingView. And then we'll cover those last couple markets and wrap it up with our good word for the day. Okay, looks good.
Good. Excellent. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Thursday. Partners meeting tonight, guys. Only one day left of DT Pro. It's Thursday, the 30th day of January, 2025. If you've not taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com. Click on the purple button right there. There's no credit card required for the trial. When you click on that purple button, it's going to bring you to this registration page. All we ask for is your name, your email, your phone number. There are 5 multiple choice questions. If you have NinjaTrader and you want to use Ninja charts, give us your machine ID. If you have TradingView, well, you should get TradingView. You have to get TradingView. If you're going to use our charts, you have to get TradingView. So give us your TradingView login ID. Okay, now let me show you what that TradingView login ID is. If you hover over your ID right over here, you hover over this icon right here, your own little logo over there. It might just be letters. Hover over that. It says what you're logged in as right there. Okay, what you're logged in as. That is what we need from you. Okay, send us that and we'll be able to get your indicators indicating. Now today we were up and down quite a bit today. And I started off, I was trying to fix the Sierra stuff this morning, get it all running so I could do a million things all at once. And sadly that did not pan out very well for me. Was not able to get the goal for the day as quickly as I normally can. I was able to get the goal for the day, but just not as quickly as I normally can. I missed some really good trades right at the beginning, And hang on just a sec.
Muted.
I missed some really good trades right at the beginning. But I did stop out on the NQ right at the beginning too, so it took a little while to get out of that. So we ended up with 97 ticks on the NQ, 2 ticks on the Russell, 45 ticks on gold, and 1 tick on the ES. Put us at 957.5 on the morning session. Today it took 29 minutes and 11 trades to get to $2,425. That was with 10 contracts on. It took a total of 35 trades this morning. So on the month now, we're at $31,955. That is $31,955 with a single contract. All right. So we're averaging $1,681 per day so far on the month, on the year too. Now the 24/20 blueprint took a hit today. The average hourly rate, we're up over 2,000 yesterday, but it took us 29 minutes this morning to get the goal for the day. I would have had a lot sooner if I hadn't been missing some trades in there. So anyway, if you were to quit trading when you get the goal for the day and add 1 contract per month, so far this month, you would have only had to work 2 hours and you would have been up $3,572 with 1 contract. All right, that's more than it costs to become a mentoring partner. You would have averaged $1,728 per hour in that period. All right, so now we have we're trying to figure this thing out. All right, we have the trades that we took today. In gold, let's see, gold, we had the majority of our profit, but did it have the majority of trades? No, the NQ had more trades than anything. Let's start out with the Russell. The Russell had the fewest amount of trades. We were back and forth with the Russell quite a bit today. We started out here, started out pretty strong on the Russell, 2 ticks. Then we had a break even, then we had a plus 30, got us up to 32, then another break even, and then we stopped out. We went down to 7. Then we had a plus 30, got us up to 37, and then we stopped out again. And so from 37, we should have gone down to 12, not 2. So the numbers are actually wrong in the spreadsheet. This should be 12, not 2. Okay. Hey, that puts us over 1,000 on the day. Good. Okay. And that was where we ended it this morning on the Russell. Okay. We had, during the break, there was 1 trade right here. Would have been a really nice trade. 1 trade right here would have been a really nice trade. 1 trade right here would have stopped you out. 1 trade right here would have been a really nice trade. So we would have had 1 25 tick stop out and 2 20, 30 tick trades. It's a 20 range bar, so you just say 20 ticks on each one, 1 bar length. That's about what you would have gotten on those. All right, so it would have been minus 25 once and plus 20 3 times during the break. You took all the trades during the break. The ES, we didn't have a ton going on with the ES today, so I'll do that one. And the ES, we're back and forth quite a bit too. This movement here that happened during the break, wasn't expecting that. But from all the way back here to the beginning. See, I missed this trade right here at the very beginning. That would have been a nice short trade. And I missed a trade there. That would have been a break-even trade. I missed a trade there. That would have been a break-even trade. I missed a trade here. Probably would have stopped me out. I missed a trade here. That would have been, oh, I didn't miss out. I got a break-even. I got a break-even, and then another break-even. And then finally, we got some profit. 1 tick right there. Okay, and then right here, we picked up 20 ticks. That got us to 21. Then we had a 1 tick, get us to 22. We had a 1 tick that got us to 23. Then we stopped out, got us to 13. Then we stopped out again, got us to 3. Then we got 8 ticks to get us back to 11, and we stopped out again. That got us down to 1. That's where we ended it on the ES this morning. During the break, there was a nice trade there, here, here. This one would have been a break even, and this would have been a decent trade. This would have been an okay trade. I think now that might have been a break even trade right there. We've been buying in the open of this bar. That would have been a break even trade. That would have been a nice trade. This one probably stopped out. Yeah, that one would have stopped out. So we had some really nice trades during the break in there. Okay, and that was the ES. So we did the ES and the Russell. We did the ones in the middle first. Now let's go to gold. on the gold, we started out over here. We're back and forth in gold a lot too. You see that? We started out with gold with a +3. Then we got 20, put us up to 23. Then we get another +5, something that got us to 28. Why am I missing this? We got a plus. This is gold, right? Yeah. We rolled to the J contract, by the way, on gold. We had a 3. We went from 3 to 23, then from 23 to 28, then from 28 to 38, then from 38 to 48, and then we had, yeah, something's messed up here. But we went from 38 to 48, and then from 48 we stopped out, went down to 33, and then from 33 we went to 35. I think these were winning trades in here. One of them was a stop out, and one of them was win. No, this was a win. I think I got the wrong color things on there. But from 48, we stopped out, went down to 33, then we went to 35, then we went to 45. And then we had some more wins in there, and that was it. So we ended up with 45 ticks on the gold after all. It doesn't look like I marked everything off here correctly, but I was trying to do a million things this morning, so it's possible that I took the trades and didn't mark them there properly. There was a long trade here that would have worked out. There was a short trade right here that would have stopped out. There was a long trade here that would have worked out. A short trade here that would have worked out. A short trade here that would have worked out. Would have been pulled back pretty close to the stop, but it would have worked out. A long trade here that would have been a break even. A long trade here on this bar that would have worked out. These are 9-tick range bars. You up when you stop after 5 ticks. So you would have at least gotten a break even on that. A short trade here that would have. So with a 15-tick stop, 39.8, so you're looking at 41.3. It didn't stop out all the way through here. It ended up being a win. In the middle of all that, there was a short right here that worked out, and a short right over here that worked out. And that brought us where we are now on gold. We ended up with +45 on gold. And the NQ was a little wild again today. We were trading it on the 50 range all morning. And we didn't get anywhere near all the trades, but you can see I had some stop outs and some money trades. This was our first trade right here. And I guess I kind of screwed that one up because it did go enough into profit to get the stop to break even. So I'll make that an orange one. That was a mistake. I started out with -60 there. Then I had a break even. Then we went to -36. Oh, sorry, -56, not a 36, -56, then to -52, then a break even. Then we went from -52 to -36. That's where it is. Okay. Then we had a +75, so we went to +34, looks like. Then we had a small win, went to 38. Then we had a win that I didn't account for. And then we stopped out and went down to -22. Then we had a 75 tick, went to +53. Then we had a small gain, went to 61. Then we stopped out again, went to 1. Then we stopped out again, went to -59. Then we had a +56, goes to -3. Then we had a +1, got us to -2. Then we had a +75 somewhere. I think this might have been the +75. Got us to +73, and then we had a small one right there to get us up to 97. And that was what we did in the morning session. Okay, during the break, it was a short right there with a 60-tick stop that would have just stopped you out. A short right here, you could have gotten it all back, 75 ticks. A long right here, you could have gotten it all back, 75 ticks. A short right here. Now this short right here would have been from here. I'm sorry, a long right here, but it ran 50 ticks before it pulled back down and went the other way. So that would have been an okay trade. The long right here, again, ran 50 ticks before it came back down. And the one right here did not run at all. This one would have stopped, oops, this one right here would have stopped you out. It didn't go 5 points into profit. That would have stopped you out. This right here, you would have entered on this bar at 34.50 and it dropped down to 28. So that did go enough to get the stop to break even. And this would have been a good trade right in here. And this would have been a good trade right in there. That's what the NQ did today. All right, it was all over the place. All the markets were all over the place. And it's not uncommon for that to happen after a FOMC day. It's never any fun when that happens, but that is just the way it is. All right. So I managed to kind of get my DOM working. Kind of get it created the way that I was trying to create it. It's off a little bit. I got some things in here. Here it is right here. So I'm trying to change the background colors of these things. I don't know if Scott's out here right now. Scott, are you out here right now? Scott is not out here. Okay, I'm trying to change the background colors. I'm not the background color. I'm trying to change the text color. I want these to be white, but I can't find it. And if I did that and then I got them so they're spread out and not piled right on top of each other, that would be key. But you see right now I got it so it will place the trade. That's supposed to be a 10-tick stop, but it's not. Let's see. Yeah, 91.75. Yeah, it is a 10-tick stop. It doesn't look like it because it's all crunched up. If I spread it out some, see that is actually a 10-tick stop from 91.75 down to 89.25. That was just a normal right click. This is where price is right now. And if I right click on it, that's my bracket, a 10 by 30 bracket. Okay. And these are kind of similar colors to DT. These are the DT colors. They're pretty close. Not exactly right, but they're pretty close. And I got this so you can see it a little better. That's the current price, all right? So if we had a trade in here, I'm still working on this, so it's that one there. That was a new chart book is what they're called. Let me save that chart book and bring up the other one that I was actually using this morning. I haven't used that chart book yet, but let's just save it. And we'll call this new chart book one. Save, and I'll open up the one that I had this morning that I am confident using. This one right here. Okay, this is the DOM for that one. So I'm feeling pretty good about using this DOM. That other one, not so much. Not yet. But I did some trades on the Russell and yesterday. So I'll be doing everything on it. Come Monday, all my trades will be on these DOMs. So if we had a trade set up in here, I would put it on this DOM. On the ES. Okay. Now I don't have the question box open. Here it is. Was there any question? You're wondering how much you made today. That's why you put in. Oh, hey, Levi. That's okay. It looks like you logged off. I'm sorry, but I did. This is how much I made today. $1,007.50 per contract. So it's $10,070, $10,075 is what I made with 10 contracts on. Okay, that's what I ended up doing today. I didn't see your question in the question box because I didn't have the question box open. But that's where we stand today. And now we wait. Okay. All right. Larry F. Are you in here? No, he's not in here either. Okay. Well, it's just as well. So we don't have any trades. Does anybody have any questions about anything? I'm curious what Bitcoin's done here since the FOMC came out. All right, it's been a pretty bullish day on Bitcoin. And what about the other stuff? Well, we have to eat to see that. It's been pretty bullish on that too. What was the all-time high on that thing? This one. 340. That was it right there. Interesting. Trump became president. 6. All right. Let's go back over here. Here we go. On the NQ right now, this is a long trade. Okay, right here on the NQ. The blue led into the oversold right there. So you buy the open of the next bar. The open of the next bar was right here, 48.75. I got a little better entry. It's got to get up to 52.75. I think it just did. There it is, 52.75. And so now that was 5 points. So I'm just going to lock in something here from 54.75. I'm going to lock in 12 ticks right there. Okay. Now I'll lock in 16 ticks right there. 47 up to 51. 20. All right, Matthew, are you in here watching right now? Matthew's not watching either. Okay, so that's 20. And $28. And we're out with 28 ticks on that NQ trade. All right, the ES actually had a short here a second ago. I didn't see. We were long on this one over here. So that was 28 easy ticks right there on that guy. Nothing there right now, but we'll wait and see what happens with that. Over here on the gold, there's a short here on the gold. I'm going to find my gold hold it, hold it, hold it. Here it is. Where'd that come up? It didn't. No, where's my gold at? Oh, I think it's way over here behind that. Okay, so here's gold. Now it is too late to do the gold. Actually, the gold entry should have been right here, so it's not too late to do the gold. It would have stopped me out if I would have done it, but it never went into profit. So I'm going to leave that alone for right now. Okay, we'll leave that one alone for right now. The NQ we've already done. The ES already happened. We missed that one. So these are the trades that we missed right here. A short on that one and a short on that one. So that one would have stopped out. That would have given us profit. Okay. Levi, did you? I don't think Levi's in anymore. I think he logged out. Levi is Kyle's son. Okay. There, I think he's in again. All right, you logged back in. All right, so the deal was what I made today. This is what I made today, $1,007 per contract. I have 10 contracts on, so it was actually $10,075. Just move the decimal place over 1. It's $10,075 today. Okay, and it was kind of a slow day. A lot of back and forth and all that. All right, so this was the trade that we missed a few minutes ago. Now, did not put in a lower swing right here. See, that did not put in a lower swing. This is another one right here, but the last one didn't put in a lower swing. And you can go for it if you want to on this. The entry point, well, the entry point should have been the top of this bar right here. Is what you should have been at. All right, it's already gone too far into profit. You can't do it now, but if you would have done it, if you would have entered at the top of that bar, it went from the top of that bar at 89.25 down to 87.50 for 7 ticks. I did not get any of that. Okay, that's what you would have been looking for right there. So, next. No, nothing's really moving all that much. We have 11 minutes left here, and nothing's moving all that much right now. And it's been a lot like this all day today. Okay. Yeah, now that I have this on like this, it's interesting. Hey, Scott. No, Scott's not here. What am I thinking? I know how to do this. All right, so this hopefully is going to go down into the oversold. We're in some nice chop right here, but it's not going the full oversold overbought on any of these right here. That's what we really need to do. The gold does have a long right here. I'm trying. I didn't get filled yet. If it goes, it's too late. I try to get filled down here. It's too late. It's gone too far into profit to take the trade. So we really don't have anything there. We don't have anything here. We almost have something here on the Russell. We don't have anything here on the gold. All right, there it is on the NQ. That's a short right there on the NQ. Okay, here it is. I'm short on the NQ. Five points in profit. The stop goes to break even. It's going to get down to 625 right here. Do its thing. Almost have a trade over there on the Russell. Almost. Pin both of those. All right. Looks like we didn't end up with a trade on the Russell, and it looks like the NQ trade is It's going in a complete wrong direction. It is going to hit some resistance right here. It should hit resistance right here at 70.25. All right, we were so close to getting our stop to break even on that, but it doesn't look like we're going to. If it breaks through that, we're going to stop out. If it doesn't break through that, and it pushes back down to the bottom right here, then we'll be able to bump the stop to break even. Okay, that's the price action that we're dealing with right now. Right. So this ended up being no trade here, and this over here was a nice long trade that I missed on the gold. I think I missed it. Okay, so this is back here now. We need to get 5 points. There it is. 5 points right there in profit. So now the stop is at break even. The stop is at plus 1 point. Now that 1 point is $200 with 10 contracts on. Okay. So now we'll go all the way down. What am I in at? 61.25. Go down to 56.25. That was $1,000. 5 times 20 times 10 is what that was. And the ES has a long trade right here. Okay, I have an order on, but it didn't get filled. And it's too late. I'm going to cancel it. Okay, the ES long was from the open of this bar right here, but it's already gone 4 ticks in a profit, so it's too late to jump on that. And what time is it? 1:26. All right. 1:26. So I'm going to go create that meeting. Right now I'm going to have a meeting in a minute. Cancel on that. Start that. Start that. All right. So we actually, I didn't even see that. We had a long trade right here on the ES. We got that one. We got some of this over here on the short. We got some of that over there too. Didn't get anything there. We missed this one over here. That was at 12:30. But what time is it right now? 1:28. We missed this one over here. Did we get some of that on the gold? I don't remember. This is what we're looking at right now. We're in some nice chop right here on the NQ. This is really good chop, okay, in here because these are 50 range bars, so it's easy to get 20 or 30 ticks on each one of these bars if you get an indication. Okay. Over here on the gold, we're trending a little bit on the gold. You see how long that flat spot is right in there? That flat spot, that means you're trending right there. So the gold, the pullbacks are the ones where you want to get because the pullbacks aren't going to be as long and they're not going to trend as much. Okay, this is another push right here. So from here on the gold, you're at a 50% retracement of this leg down. You should have a good push off at this level right here. Should at least make it up to the here right now is what the gold should do. Okay, so all the stuff that we've always done with the price action and the trade management and the trade expectation stuff, all that is still the same. It's just now instead of waiting for this bar to close up and pull this out of the oversold, you're able to jump in, early. Like now, you can jump into this trade. Okay. That's what the difference is. Oh crap, we're running out of time. All right, so let me show you this. It's Thursday night, by the way. If you are not an active partner, you want to get to Thursday night partners meeting, you must become an active partner before then. If you don't know what it takes to become a partner, just send an email to support@mytradingiq.com or support@cfrn.net that says partner info in the header. Okay. If you haven't taken a free trial and you want to, go here to mytradingiq.com, sign up, click the purple button, no credit card required. It's going to bring you to the registration page. Just fill it out. Okay, just fill that out on the registration page. And that's all you got to do. All right, that is all you have to do. The yes is given a short right here, right now. Yes is given a short. And the gold had a long going in there a few minutes ago. The yes short is, I just took that. I'm bringing it over, trying to bring it over and show you. There it is. Okay, the stop's going to go to break even. Now, move the stop to break even after 4 ticks in profit. And now I'll just start locking in a little profit on that. There's 1 tick. And it's up. And that's it. That's it, guys. With that, I can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona in Studio A overlooking South
Unmuted.
largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready.
Yep. I am.
Excellent.
Okay. Recap of the morning session.
Today, it took a while. It's going to be 29 minutes and 11 trades to get to $2,425 with 10 contracts on.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We'll get this wrapped up. We left off at the NQ. And this is the opening candle. We're above the BBC. We got blue and climbing. And it just took us right up to the long target. And then we hit the zone, which we expect to be resistance, until proven otherwise. Resistance will always send the market looking for support. You see we came back to the top of that long target. That sent us back up to the zone, which we spiked. But then by the time the 30-minute period was over, we were well below it. And then price got below the BBC and took us right down to the short target, which we spiked a little bit. Support sends us back to resistance at the BBC. So they gave us another candle to the downside. Now the step line has crossed red and falling, so we're probably going to retrace back to the BBC. The pullback holds. It holds more often than not, but eventually it trades through. If the pullback holds, we get another leg to the downside. If it doesn't hold, then you've got some nice areas up here from 21,640 to 21,670, and then beyond that 21,690 all the way up to the zone. Crude oil, we opened last night right here. We opened below the BBC. So this pullback, which started yesterday afternoon, the pullback held. And that sent us right down to the short target. Then we traded through the target. Then on the pullback, that short target became resistance. Sent us down for another leg. Again, resistance on the underside of the short target, which sent us down to blue and climbing, which walked us all the way back up to the long target. And we hit the zone, a little doji in there, means indecision, and markets turned, as they often do when you have a doji in the proper context at an important price in an important area. Sends it back to the BBC support, pullback holds, plus we're hitting the short target there. Now we're bouncing up to red and falling, which is typically resistance. So price is now trapped between support and resistance, the BBC and red and falling. Gold, incredible day. We opened last night and we just consolidated for quite a few hours from the zone to the BBC, back to the zone, back to the BBC, and then finally we broke out of that consolidation and it took us right up to the long target, and then the market just kept flying and flying and flying, and we covered a lot of ground. A lot of ground. The open last night was 27.72, and from 72 to 28.28. Whoa. It's about $5,000. Silver. Here's the open. We had balloon climbing, so we expect price to go higher. We attempted to retrace back to the BBC here, but there was buying energy, and it took us through the target to the zone. We consolidated for a few hours. We got a leg, a retracement, and then a leg. Then right here, the step line crossed balloon climbing. When it goes from the left side to the right side, we anticipate a retracement back to the BBC. And with balloon climbing overhead and starting to look like it's going to turn to red and falling, we'll probably get another retracement to the BBC. If we trade through it, then 32.10 down to 32.01. It's 9 pennies. It only takes 2 pennies to get your goal for the day with silver. And we're still straddling that 50% fib extension. We're a lot closer to the high of the day than we were at the beginning of the broadcast. But as you can see, we're off the high of the day, we're off the low of the day, but we're climbing. We do anticipate potential resistance. If we were to rally into the close, I mean, that would be a pretty big rally, but whether it happens today, tonight, tomorrow, this looks like an area for good resistance. We'll see tomorrow. To become a member, send an email to support@cfrn.net. In the subject line, just put, "I want to become a member." In the body of the email, put your name and your phone number. We're not going to call you, but we're going to send you an email that explains what it means to become a passport holder. And there'll be a link you can click if you decide what we do, it's right for you. As a passport holder, you get 2 hours of live interactive training every trading day. On top of that, you get private one-on-one mentoring, no extra charge. The strategy you learn, the indicators you own as a passport holder are fluid across all markets and all time frames. Futures, stocks, crypto, Forex, ETFs, doesn't matter because price flows the same across all markets and all time frames. From support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over, again and again. It is a never-ending cycle. It's been in place since the inception of the markets and will remain in place till the market cease to exist. Why? Because, well, that's how markets work. As a passport holder, you'll get the Logic 247 alerts around the clock. concierge trade alerts, the second they're published each evening. Monday mornings at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, you get the weekly trading zones, and you're able to attend the members only workshop every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Just send your email to support@cfrn.net. Good word for the day. Grace in marriage. 2 Corinthians 12:9. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Who in the Bible would you say had the best marriage? Well, Adam and Eve started in paradise, and it kind of went downhill from there. Abraham lied and said his wife Sarah was his sister, then impregnated her servant Hagar. Isaac and Rebekah spent much of their marriage battling because he favored Esau and she favored Jacob. Jacob had children by 2 different wives and the wives' servants. All we know of Moses' wife is they had an argument over circumcising their son, and she called Moses a bridegroom of blood in Exodus 4:26. David, well, he was a disaster as a husband, and Solomon was even worse. When Job's life got hard, his wife told him, "Curse God and die." Job 2:9. In fairy tales, life is a difficult adventure until you get married. Then you live happily ever after. But nowhere in the Bible does a couple get married and then live happily ever after. Marriage doesn't save anyone, only Jesus does. Yet, how often in churches do couples sit in silent agony? They have an image of spiritual success to project, but they don't enjoy intimacy. Or there's abuse going on. Or their young daughter is pregnant and they have no idea what to do. Maybe one of them's a closet alcoholic, or they're facing bankruptcy. Frequently, people who need help the most receive it the least, because they would have to step down from their pedestal. But what if real people could be as truthful as the Bible about marriage? In Scripture, marriage is a place where we learn, receive God's grace, and grow together in love. And that's our good word for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.